Hey, sixth graders. This lesson is on states of matter, and as you're watching this video, you will need to stop and answer some questions, and also you need to be filling in your notes as you go. So, states of matter. The objective is I can model the motion of particles in solids, liquids, and gases, with the essential question being how do particles in solids, liquids, and gases move? So I think you guys probably can identify things as being a solid, a liquid, or a gas, but what do we really know about them? And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today and what makes something a solid, liquid, or a gas. Okay, so our big idea here is the kinetic theory of matter. Okay, and this theory is that all matter is made up of atoms or groups of atoms that are in constant motion. So all of the molecules and everything, even things that are solid, like my cell phone, okay, all the atoms are constantly moving. And the speed that they're moving at depends or tells us if it's going to be a solid, liquid, or a gas. So how do particles move in solids, liquids, and gases? So first thing, in a solid, we know the particles are vibrating in place. And if you look at this picture right here, okay, the particles in a solid are really packed closely together, but they are still moving, okay? The particles never stop moving unless they're at something called absolute zero, which we'll get at later on in science life, but they're always moving. And the particles in a solid are kind of just vibrating in place, okay? A solid substance has a definite volume and a definite shape. What that means is if I were to take my cell phone and put it inside something else, which I don't have anything big enough, maybe it'll fit in here, okay? It's still gonna take the shape of my cell phone and it's still gonna take up the same amount of space. It's going to have the same volume, okay? So because the particles are so close together and they don't move freely, they don't change size or shape regardless of where you put them, okay? So that's that second note. A solid substance has a definite volume and shape. The particles are close together and do not move freely. They vibrate but are fixed in place. And the example on here is this fishbowl. We'll see this on each of the three states of matter slides, is the castle that we put in there, okay? If you put that castle in that fishbowl, it's going to keep its original size and shape. It's not going to take the shape of the fishbowl or anything like that, okay? And that's why it does it, because it has particles that are in fixed positions, all right? So that's a solid. So solids have particles that vibrate in place. They have a definite volume and a definite shape. The next particle is a liquid, okay? And liquids, like water here, okay? Particles can slide past one another, okay? So a liquid substance has a definite volume, but not a definite shape. So if I were to take my water from my cup and pour it into my coffee cup, okay, it would take the shape of the coffee cup, which is similar, but I would still have the same amount of it. It would be the same volume. It would take up the same amount of space, okay? Particles in a liquid have more kinetic energy than in a solid. So when we add kinetic energy, and oftentimes we can think of this in the form of heat, what happens is the molecules speed up faster and they kind of start spreading apart a little bit and they get a little bit farther apart. And when they do that, they can slide past one another more freely, and that's why we have a liquid. So particles in a liquid are not fixed in place and they can move from one place to another. And in our fishbowl example, the water is a liquid and the water has taken the shape of the fishbowl. If we took that water out of the fishbowl and poured it into a rectangular fish bowl, I guess it wouldn't be a bowl, it'd be a tank, it would take the shape of that container. But we would still have the same amount. It would take up the same amount of space. All right, so liquids, there's a little bit more kinetic energy. The molecules are moving a little bit faster, and that allows them to slide past one another, but they still have a definite volume and a definite shape. All right, and our final state of matter are gases. And gases, particles move freely, and I can't show you a gas because gases don't have definite volume or shape. However, we know that air is a gas, and so I could say this whole room is filled with a gas. Okay, particles in a gas have the most kinetic energy of all three states, so they're moving the fastest. So as we add more kinetic energy to a liquid, eventually they're moving fast enough that that changes from a liquid into a solid, or into a gas, not a solid. All right. And so they have the most kinetic energy. And in a gas, the amount of space between the particles can change very easily. So as we keep adding more and more kinetic energy, the molecules are going to move faster and faster. And let's say I opened up my window right behind me here, and I allowed some of the air that's in my house to go to outside. Those gas molecules would have more space to spread out, okay? And so there might be the same number of them, but they spread out, and so they would take up a greater volume, okay? So gas does not have a definite shape or volume because gas will take the shape of whatever it's allowed to. Okay, in the fishbowl, the air bubbles are representing the gas, and it's kind of a bad representation, but if we were to open up the top of this fishbowl, those air bubbles would be able to be released out, and then the gases that are in those air bubbles would spread out and have a lot more space in between them. Okay, so gases have the most kinetic energy. They do not have a definite shape, and they do not have a definite volume. And you can see in this picture right here, they're moving really fast. So what happens when substances change state? And we talked a little bit about this when we were talking about physical and chemical changes, and I think there might have been some confusion. So what we're talking about when substances change state, we're talking about states of matter. So we're talking about when something's going from a solid to a liquid to a gas, or gas back to liquid, back to solid, okay? And what happens as we add energy, and you can think of energy as heat, okay? As we add that energy, the molecules start moving faster and faster. And the more energy we add, the faster those molecules move. Okay, so looking at this picture right here, when I have a solid, and so let's look at it as ice. Okay, when I have ice and I add energy or heat to it, okay, we know what happens when we add heat to ice. At some point, and that's going to be at the freezing point, those molecules are moving fast enough that they turn into a liquid, and we call that process melting, okay? So now those molecules are moving faster, and now we have liquid water, okay? Imagine a puddle outside after the ice melts, okay? Then, as we keep adding more and more heat to that puddle, or to that liquid water, okay, eventually it reaches a certain point, and that's going to be its boiling point, that it starts turning into a gas, and we call that process evaporation. If you were to dump some water out on your driveway on a hot day, after a while that water would be gone, and it didn't just disappear. It actually, the molecules moved up or sped up so much because of the heat that they evaporated and turned into a gas. Okay, and we call that gas in the air water vapor. Okay, now the same thing can happen when energy is removed, or heat is removed, or it gets colder. Okay, so when we have a gas form of water, we call that water vapor. And as we remove energy or remove heat, as the temperature drops, eventually they turn into a liquid, and we call this condensation. And you've probably seen condensation maybe on your windows or the car windows. A lot of times in the summer, we see it early in the morning. Sometimes we call it dew. Okay, and what's happening there is that's just water vapor in the air. It cools down enough that it turns into a liquid. You also see this on the top of a pan sometimes when you're boiling water. Okay, when you're boiling a pan of water and that water temperature gets warm enough, some of that water starts evaporating, but then it gets stuck on the top of that pan and it condenses and forms back into a liquid. Okay, and then we know when we have liquid water, imagine a lake in Minnesota, as we remove enough energy or enough heat, it gets cold enough to turn into a solid, and it freezes into ice. Okay, so that's what happens when substances change state. And ice, liquid water, and water vapor are different states of the same substance. As liquid water changes to ice or water vapor, the water molecules themselves do not change. They actually look the same if you were to look at them underneath a microscope. They would just either be moving faster or slower, or maybe be more closer together or farther apart, but the actual molecule would look the same. Okay, what does change is the motion of the molecules and the amount of space in between them. Okay, and they change states when energy or heat is added or removed, and this causes the particles to increase or decrease the amount of kinetic energy. Okay, so this was kind of an introduction, and next week we'll be focusing more on the different changes in state and kind of the names of it and what's happening in each change of state. But for right now, just understanding that this is what is happening.